What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Triple Z Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Henry. We are less than a few days away from opening night of the 2024-2025 NBA season. I'm extremely excited. So for this video, I wanted to give my NBA season award prediction, starting out with Sixth Man of the Year. Bobby Portis has been one of the most consistent bench players in the NBA for the last 2 seasons. He's finished top 3 in Sixth Man of the Year voting, coming off of averaging 13 points, 7 rebounds, shot 40% from 3, and played all 82 games for the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks are going to need Bobby Portis to have another productive season. This roster is in a very tight box with no room for error. Even with Doc Rivers having a full training camp and a full NBA season as the head coach, Dame and Giannis have a year under their belt as a duo. They got Gary Trent Jr. in the offseason, as well as Taurean Prince. Bucks are starting to lose their credibility as being a threat in the Eastern Conference. Last season, they weren't a convincing team. Being bounced in the first round back-to-back years against the Miami Heat and the Indiana Pacers doesn't help their situation. Now, I know Giannis has missed those 2 postseasons, but that's still a concern for the Milwaukee Bucks. Bobby Portis has been a part of this core since 2020, back when the Bucks won the championship against the Phoenix Suns, and he's progressed throughout the 4 years he's been in Milwaukee as a scorer, a rebounder, a three-point shooter, a big that can stretch the floor. He brings a ton of energy off the bench. He's been extremely valuable for the Milwaukee Bucks. There is a chance that the Bucks can lose Bobby Portis. A couple years ago, he signed a 4-year, $48 million contract. Next year, he does have a player option, and then he's an unrestricted free agent in the 2026-2027 season. Let's say Bobby Portis wins Sixth Man of the Year, or he finishes second in the award. He can increase his value to the point where he might want to test free agency and sign a much better contract than what he has now. Right now, he's being paid $13 million. If you ask me, Bobby Portis is worth more than $13 million. And if the Bucks can't match what other teams are willing to offer Bobby Portis, that could be extremely detrimental to that team moving forward. Most improved player Dereck Lively played a significant role in the Dallas Mavericks making it to the NBA Finals. In a closeout game versus the number 1 seed OKC, he had 12 points and 15 rebounds. He had the biggest defensive stop in the Western Conference Finals in Game 2 on Anthony Edwards, which led to Luka Doncic hitting that game winner step back 3 over Rudy Gobert. And despite the Mavericks losing in the finals against the Boston Celtics, Dereck Lively was able to put up back-to-back double-double performances, which is really impressive for a rookie. His performance in the postseason leads me to believe that he will be the starting center for the Dallas Mavericks. He provides a ton for this team with his rebounding, his floor running, his decision-making, and his defense will be very vital for the Dallas Mavericks because Dallas isn't filled with a bunch of perimeter defenders. I believe life will be easy for Dereck Lively because he's going to score easy points with his floor running, his ability to catch lob, his ability to roll hard to the rim, getting put back dunks, being able to get to the free throw line. So he's going to score 8 to 10 points easily. With Klay Thompson being a new addition to the Dallas Mavericks, that can open up a lot of opportunities for Dereck Lively to improve his offensive game. You have Klay Thompson and Kyrie Irving both on the wings. You have Luka Doncic at the top of the key and PJ Washington in the corner. Dereck Lively has the opportunity to improve his interior scoring. Now, I'm not saying he's going to average 20 plus points, but if the Mavericks give him the chance to work on his post game a little bit more, where he has a go-to move, maybe he can develop his touch around the rim, add a hook shot into his arsenal, that can help the Dallas Mavericks, and that can help improve Dereck Lively's game. If he's put in a position where he has a mismatch, where he has a smaller defender on him, maybe he can back him down with his physicality, and if he has a bigger defender on him, he can potentially face him up, put it on the deck, and finish at the rim, which can expand his game a lot more. He did average 8 points and 7 rebounds in 55 games in his rookie season. I expect him to average a double-double, anywhere from 13 to 14 points, grabbing 10 rebounds. Coach of the Year, Chris Finch. It's been a couple of weeks since we've seen the trade of Karl-Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks and Donte DiVincenzo, a first-round pick, and Julius Randle going to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And in my initial reaction to that trade, I was in favor of the New York Knicks, and I would like to say that I still am. But it's been a couple of weeks, and I'm understanding why. And my understanding of why Minnesota made that trade has gotten a lot better, because if they kept Karl-Anthony Towns on their books, he signed a 4-year, $220 million contract. He was going to get paid $50 to $60 million, which would not work for Minnesota's salary cap. It just wouldn't. And then if they kept Karl-Anthony Towns, that means they would have potentially have to get rid of They would have lost Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Naz Reid, 2 valuable players on their bench. So they made the move to get rid of Karl-Anthony Towns. They bring in Donte DiVincenzo, Julius Randle, and a first-round pick. And when you look at this roster for the Minnesota Timberwolves, because Minnesota has so many interchangeable pieces, so I'm curious about the different lineups Chris Finch can utilize, whether it's in the beginning, middle, or at the end of the game. They got Rob Dillingham, Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert, Dante DiVincenzo, Julius Randle. Like, this team is stacked with a lot of good players. But finally seeing this team as what they are right now with the players and personnel they have on this team, they're going to be a problem in the Western Conference. They're still going to be a great defensive team. DiVincenzo being a really good perimeter defender and one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Just last season, he finished third behind Steph Curry and Luka Doncic for most three-pointers made in a season. Chris Finch is going to find a way to utilize him a little bit more than what he was being utilized for in New York. I'm so excited to see Dante DiVincenzo in that system, and Chris Finch is going to take advantage of how deep this roster is and how many different lineups he can potentially have with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Rookie of the Year, I want to start by admitting that I am not fully tapped into this rookie draft class. Obviously, I've heard plenty of people say it's one of the weakest draft class we've seen in a while. I'm not going to say that because I haven't taken the time to invest in this rookie draft class, so I'm not going to say it's the weakest. But I can admit I only know a few rookies. Rob Dillingham, Reed Shepard, Alex Sarr, Ryan Dunn. I forgot the rookie on the Lakers. He just had like 35 points against the Phoenix Suns. He seems really damn good too. But I'm gonna go with Zach Edey because Zach Edey has the best opportunity to be on a winning team in the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis, they're healthy. John Morant's coming back, Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane, Marcus Smart. Like, this team is healthy, and they're expected to be a playoff contending team in the Western Conference. Zach Edey is expected to add a lot of contributions to the Memphis Grizzlies. Not a lot of teams have the personnel to defend a Zach Edey. Not saying he's going to go crazy, but, I mean, he's 7'4", 280. You can't really move him around a lot. Like, not a lot of teams are going to have the personnel to defend Zach Edey, and you're expecting him as a rookie, even as a rookie, to hold his own against other great centers or even all-star level centers in the NBA. Hopefully he can stay healthy because players at that size, 7'4", 280, don't typically stay healthy, so you're hoping, at the center position, because Steven Adams is gone and Brandon Clark will most likely come off the bench, hoping Zach Edey can have a healthy season for the Memphis Grizzlies. So I'm going to take Zach Edey as Rookie of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, Bam Adebayo. For the last 4 seasons, Miami has been a top 10 defense in the league, and Bam has a lot to do with that. Despite being undersized at 6'9" at the center position, Bam is still an elite defender. He's very versatile. He can legit guard 1 through 5. He's quick enough on his feet to step out on the perimeter and guard a smaller player, and he's strong enough to guard a Jokic, a Giannis Antetokounmpo, a Joel Embiid, a Rudy Gobert, Anthony Davis. Like, he's that good. He's that great, actually, of a defender. Played a lot of drop coverage for the Miami Heat so he can be closer to the rim, which worked in Miami's favor because they were a top 5 defense in the NBA. With Bam Adebayo, whatever coverage you put him in, whether it's blitzing, switching, drop coverage, he was the anchor of the Miami Heat's zone defense. He's a player that can get a ton of stops. Finished 3rd in Defensive Player of the Year, which is the closest he's ever finished in that category. And going into the 2024-2025 season, I'm expecting Bam Adebayo to capture the Defensive Player of the Year award. MVP, Luka Doncic. Coming off of his best season, led the league in scoring, averaged 33 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, shot a career high from 3 at 38% on 10 attempts a game, which is ridiculous. Had a 70-point game, made his 5th straight first-team All-NBA. Most games played since his rookie season at 70. As a 24-year-old, he was able to lead the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA Finals. Luka Doncic is one of the greatest players we have in the NBA today. And if he wins MVP, which it's about time he does, because he's been such a great player. He's a generational talent. He's that valuable to this league, and he's extremely valuable to the Dallas Mavericks. If he wins MVP, he'll be the first guard since James Harden in 2018. And with Klay Thompson being there on the Dallas Mavericks as one of the greatest shooters of all time, I wouldn't be surprised if Luka Doncic leads the league in scoring and an assist. And with the Mavericks going to the finals last season, he's going to be more eager to get this team back to the NBA Finals. Thank you for listening to the Triple Z Podcast. Please like, subscribe to the channel. Comment your predictions for any season awards, and I'll see you guys next time. Zzz.